Alright, welcome to another episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink. Eat, Smoke, Drink Coffee Edition. Another coffee edition today. Look, today I am going to take you through Frank's coffee, Frank's Roastery here in New Zealand. This is my second Frank's coffee. I've got 3 in total that I've gotten in this batch of coffees. This is, the roast date is roughly... How long ago is that? Shit, I can't even think now. 17 days. No, 15 days. 15 days roast date, which is greatly rested, but I must add a disclaimer that when I was pouring over the water, a lot of gas was escaping out of the bean. But anyway, first observation, the bean is very, very dark, okay? Very, very dark compared to the other roasted beans that have, the other roasteries that I've got. But the first Frank's that I've done is actually surprisingly perfectly balanced from dark roasted to medium. And I even commented, is it by fluke or is it by intention? Are they that talented that they can just play on the line of that, you know, that line of that heavily roasted or medium, you know, like it's really a hard line to fall on, I think, because you can fuck it up so quickly. It's like playing with the butthole in the perineum, you know, it's right there. Sometimes you slip and you get the butt. But anyway, this is a really weird coffee as well. It's natural carbonic maceration, pink bourbon varietal. Once again, it is by Jairo Arcila. So I am becoming a huge fan of Jairo Arcila. I am not actually trying to chase Jairo Arcila beans. I look at the process and then I look at the maker. So this happens to be another Jairo Arcila. It looks like Mr. Jairo Arcila is really an innovative motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He's an innovative bastard. Because this one here is natural carbonic maceration, and what that means, God knows what that means. But the description is this. First of all, it is about, I think, 2,000 meters above sea level. I'll put all the info for you. But what they do is they first take the bean for 24 hours of aerobic fermentation. 24 hours of aerobic fermentation. And then they put it to 200 hours of low temperature, 22 degrees of low temperature, 200 hours of low temperature anaerobic fermentation, and then they put CO2 in the bags, and then for 200 hours, which is roughly 8 to 9 days, they anaerobic ferment this bean. And then they take the bean, they put it onto dry raised beds to dry it until it reaches the right percentage of moisture for another couple of weeks. It's the process of this bean is an extremely complex process. Anyway, let's get sniffing the bean. Let's get frickin' and sniffing the bean, eh? So, what I love about Frank's Roastery so far is that it looks dark, but it doesn't smell too dark. It does obviously smell darker than the others that I've had, but not overly dark to the point where you go, oh, is it espresso roast or is it a filter roast? It's still very much a filter roast on the nose, but it looks so dark. I don't know why. But anyway, that doesn't matter. I don't really care. It's just more an observation. Oh, wow. Molasses, burnt sugar, burnt butter, smoldering wood by the fire. There's a smokiness to this bean that I cannot describe. So far, that is a Frank's trait that I've found. A smokiness that I cannot put my finger on. Roasted peanuts. Freshly tanned leather. It's got a bit of a Pedro Jimenez kind of smell to it. That thick, viscous, sugary sherry. There is imagine if you grill a ripe plum. Grilled ripe plum. There's a slight cedar, a Spanish red cedar note to this. What is the description? The description says starfruit, raisins, spices, cacao, cinnamon, nutmeg. I get the raisins, I don't get the starfruit. I get the raisins. The spices, cinnamon, nutmeg. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm not getting the cinnamon and nutmeg. The cacao nibs, 100% I'm getting the cacao nibs. It is dark chocolate, 80% Lindt dark chocolate. You know, like proper chocolate. Not candy bars, but proper chocolate. You know what I mean? Like legal chocolate. You know, not the barely legal chocolate stuff. You know what I mean? Not Hershey's, but I'm talking about actual chocolate, 80% cacao. Fantastic nose. Fantastic nose. Let's get sniffing the brew. Shit. I just put this on here because I didn't want it to cool down too much. I don't want it to cool down too much, and I don't want to put it on the table either. That was a mistake. It's got the bird shit. I don't want to get the bird flu. I could be the patient zero or something. Alright. What a beautiful nose. Now I'm getting the spice, but I still wouldn't say it's nutmeg or cinnamon. I disagree wholeheartedly. The nose that I'm getting is black pepper. Cacio pepper, black pepper. You know, you roast the black pepper on the pan. Is it? Oh, you do cacio pepper. Anyway, you roast the black pepper on the pan and get it a little bit dry, and then you crush it with a mortar and pestle, like fresh black pepper. That's what I'm getting. Candied ginger, leather. Charcoal, smoked, burnt wood. The roast level is shining through the brew steam, okay? Slightly on the dark side. I can definitely smell that, but it's not dominating to the point where that's all you can smell. The chocolate is coming through, but not so much, but more like when you're baking a brownie and then the chocolate starts to toast on the side of the tray. That kind of toasted, burnt chocolate. The theme of this is a very toasted theme. The peanut is there when you slightly over roast the peanuts in the oven. A slightly licorice herb. Let's get sipping. Let's get sipping. Oh, wow. I wasn't getting that on the nose, but I love that dumpster garbage flavor. I know that sounds really weird, but on the nose it wasn't revealing itself, but on the palate, okay, first of all, I don't know what Frank does. But man, this is the second time now where there is a big disconnect between the roast and the palate. I'm not getting the heavy roast on the palate. It is on the cusp, like I said, butthole perineum, right? You know, it's so close, but it's still not, it's separated by a thin line, Oh man, this guy is playing with fire. I mean, what a beautiful roast level. On the dark side, slightly bold, but not, it's still medium, funky. This bean, oh man, the process of Jairo Arcila, the bean is funky, it is weird, it's got this wet, damp cloth, bakery dumpster kind of smell, followed by a lingering, very slight bitterness, like a dark chocolate, slightly savory. It's dry on the palate, like eating a raw plum. Not sour, but like that powdery dryness. And you go, ooh, okay, maybe that wasn't quite right yet, but in a pleasant way. Oh, wow. Stewed blueberries, blackberries. Now I'm getting the nutmeg, but not a huge amount. The black pepper is still my pick. The black pepper is still the spice here. What a great roastery, what a great bean. I think it needs a bit more time to rest and calm down though, so I'm going to let this just calm down. It was very, very airy and fizzy when I was pouring, but what a glorious roastery and bean. Once again, like I said, the cut, I'm so impressed. And so far, that's 2 out of 2 so far, where the balance between darkness and medium is just perfectly straddled. And I think if the third one is that way as well, I am impressed and I am going to become a fan. So far, I've got my 2 favorite roasteries in New Zealand, and this could be my third. This could be my third, but on the dark, strong flavored side. But the process of 200 hours of anaerobic fermentation is fantastic. I've had a 200-hour fermented bean before, and that was a very medium roast. I think I still prefer it a slightly more medium roast to a medium heavy, but this is a great balance to get that heavier roast and still get the nuanced flavors of the bakery dumpster that I absolutely love. That heavenly garbage.